morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the newsroom. We take a look at the markets here. I think there's an Apple event going on in a few moments here. Right, Apple event. Maybe I'll tune that in. We're just doing a quick stream today. Who knows? Maybe it could turn into something more. Look at some individual names, see what's going on in the markets, and map out some key levels. I see the S&P 500 catching a little bit of a nice bid here, but it is coming into a level that I think everyone should be aware of. So we'll go over that. How was everyone's weekend? What's up, 1329? What's up, Katie? What's up, Crypto? What's up, Chris? What's up, nobody? All right. Let me just get my Twitch stuff up and running. There we go. What's up, Goku? What's up, Juan? What's up, FT? All right. Oh, let's stretch it out here. Shake it off, shake it off, shake it off. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. All right. I just want to see really quick here, right? Apple. All right. What time is the event at? It's like 10 o'clock, I thought. Or did it already go? I think it's on in like a few moments. Okay. We can turn on the stream. That's totally fine. That wasn't the plan, but I kind of just realized that as I was going live here. All right, let's take a look at the markets here. Let me zoom in. Okay, so the S&P 500 is on a little bit of a bid. I just wanted to call out a couple of levels here. First and foremost, one thing to just kind of call out here is, is this the bottom, right? Is that the bottom? Is that all the selling is going to happen? And the real answer, if you are, a professional risk manager and you're looking at the markets, the real answer would be you have no idea. but we do have some levels to keep an eye on, and this is what we're looking at right now. Right now, this is just an inside trading day. So we saw a lot of sell side on Friday, right? It was a pretty bearish day, bearish market net flow throughout the entirety of the day. And we're seeing a bounce back, but the bounce back is all trading within that candle. And this is very, very normal market behavior, especially when you sell off quite to this extent. If you're in the Discord group, right? If you're in the group and you looked at the zones, you'll notice that the zones, they've been getting pretty extended to the downside, right? Let me fix this. No, this side. Let me see. So we're seeing a little bit of a bounce back after seeing some sell side. So what are some key levels? The big level here that I want to focus in on was last week's anchored volume weighted average price. Last week happened to be the start of September. So it's now the month to date anchored volume weighted average price. So if I anchor it on to this month, which is the start of the month, right? We gapped down. You'll notice that we came down, we came back up to try to test it. We talk about, well, I don't know if we talked about it on my YouTube videos, but definitely these are levels marked out in the group, and we tested it for round 2. We tried to come up for a round 3, didn't quite make it, and we pushed back down through this. And now we have this inside trading day, and we're coming back up into that anchored volume weighted average price. So as exciting as it is to see the market kind of making its way up, give me a second here. I'm just going to keep an eye on this Apple thing too. I'm just going to have it play in the background for right now, and then I'll get it up. This would be the level to watch overhead, and it looks like we're going to be trying to go to test that here in the very near future. Now, if we go and test that, you can see that we've been rejected for multiple times. So the thought process here would be if the market can get above it, first we'd have to say, okay, where did price come from, right? And price has made a pretty nice move, right? You'll notice if I zoom in here and look at these 15-minute, I'll just use Thinkorswim actually. If I show you these candles, what you'll notice here is the range of the candles, do you see how this kind of like the momentum's kind of slowing here? You get a big authoritative candle. It's a little bit smaller body, a little bit smaller body, all right, a little bit smaller, and it's kind of like dying here, right? So right now, markets move between expansion and contraction. What we saw here is more of like an authoritative move, and the authoritativeness is kind of slowing down. So it's already made a pretty strong move. So the thought process would be, okay, where can price pull potentially back down to and try to put in a higher low, right? So this is one higher low. Now, okay, if the market wants to keep going up, awesome. If it doesn't, look for the next higher low, and then start to watch the 5-day moving average start to kind of flatten out to potentially turn back up. And that would give us some insight to where the change could be potentially changing. But if I bring up the 5-day moving average on the SPY, on the Qs, on the IWM, on the DIA, on the XBI, and the semiconductors, what you'll notice here is that these are all still within that declining trend. Okay, so as exciting as it is, people get FOMO, they chase into things, they don't wait it out, which is fine to do, right? If that's your style of trade, I don't know your time frame, but things get extended, then they bounce. And that's downtrends for you. They sell off, they bounce, and they're typically more aggressive on bounces many of the times because you're typically in negative gamma territory, right? So when we're in negative gamma territory, which I'll bring that chart up momentarily, you can get rip your face off rallies, and then it kind of just falls off. And sometimes you get massive, like strong moves to the downside, but a lot of fake outs. So overall, what we want to see is these price to actually recoup the 5-day moving average with the series of higher lows and higher highs, right? And then start to really feel a lot more confident that the market has our back here, that we can play it to the upside. Now, there are various stocks that look like they're setting up and they look good, but I just wanted to call this out that it's just an inside trading day. We're still in a declining trend, and we have yet to test the month-to-date anchored volume weighted average price, and it's kind of within this confluence. Now, as far as the weekly expected moves go for the S&P 500, we have 527.41 below us, 553 above us. That's for the SPY. And as price got down here the other prior trading day, this happened to be the lower monthly expected move for the SPY. So we've already reached the lower monthly expected move. It's now the 9th of September. Earlier, right in August, we actually hit the BAM right on the Q right here. This was the I don't know what this is. Let me remove that. This is the quarter to date anchored volume weighted average price. So during the midst of all that volatility at the beginning of the August, right, the market priced in this is what we're expecting for a risk for the quarter, and it came down here pretty much to perfection, right? And then that was the low, the low quarterly expected move, and we haven't yet been back to that area. Right, so if I zoom out and we applied an anchored volume weighted average price to here, because that was the swing low, right, the shakeout of 2024, you can see that we undercut it and we kind of U-turn back through, and we're kind of holding this level right around this. So when I go to the daily time frame, I'll turn off these drawings. Apple event's going right now.
Users telling me how Apple Watch makes their lives better in ways both big and small.
I'll finish up here, and then we could, I guess we can watch this.
Apple Watch has made on so many people around the world,
but you can see that we came into this area right after actually cracking.
Every year, we add features and capability.
After cracking this anchored volume weighted average price, we came down, we undercut it, and now we're trading back above it. So this was the test that we were looking for, and now we want to see if it can reclaim that month-to-date anchored volume weighted average price. Let me bring up the Apple event over here. Sip of coffee while this is going. I'm kind of interested to see what the iPhone would be. I have to
Introducing Apple Watch Series 10 with our biggest display and thinnest design ever.
It's always the
Here's
biggest
Jeff
display.
to tell you all
Thinnest
about it.
design ever. Okay. Let's see if Apple's reacted to any of this.
Apple Watch is an indispensable companion,
These averages.
and the display is central to everything you do with it. From discreetly checking the time to scanning a
Yeah, Apple's
notification
about
to
at
a
its
quick
opening
glance
price
at
of
your
the day,
workout metrics.
slightly down on the trading
How
session.
easily you can read the screen is crucial. That's why, for Series 10, we developed the largest and most advanced display ever for Apple Watch. It's the
Amazon's
biggest
back
wearable
up.
display we've ever built, even slightly bigger than Apple Watch Ultra. And compared to previous generations, it has up to 30% more screen area. With a larger screen, you can increase the font size without
I
sacrificing
don't really care
content.
about the iWatch.
And you can see
right
an
now.
additional line of text
Kinda
and
wanna just
apps
kinda
like
keep an eye on the
messages,
market.
mail, or
Whoops.
news. It also makes it easier to type a message, enter your passcode, or pause.
Okay. I'll check back in a moment. Let's see what's up on the calendar this week, and then we'll take a look at some individual stocks. Hey, what's up, Moonraker? Red. Great, I'm live. That's going to be a short stream, so you'll have plenty of stuff. Red 5 to get done. Plenty of time. At least that's the goal here, is just to be a quick stream. I wanted to just pull up the markets and let everyone know that this would be the key level to watch for this month to date anchored volume weighted average price. And then from that point, if we can reclaim the 5-day moving average, this is kind of what I would think that it would kind of look like. Okay, I'll draw out the prime. This is kind of what I would want to see, the potential path. Okay, ready? Here we go. So I'd like to see it come and test, right? Whether that squeezes above or not. And I'd like to see some sort of a, rejection, high or low, right? And price to come like this. And then I want to see the 5-day moving average come in, right? And then for price to start breaking from this, actually, I'm going to start drawing this out like this. Okay, then I want to see price start to make a way up. And I want to see something like this where we can see a clear defined level of risk around these levels, maybe even potentially here, right? To play it into, into and around this prior anchored volume weighted average price, the one that we broke down from. So that's kind of what I would be keeping an eye on there. Okay, let's see the calendar, September 9th. Not much, nothing going on really tomorrow. We got Redbook. Today, nothing really going on for the remainder of the day. Consumer credit change, that's not really market moving events. I wouldn't consider that a high tier event. The 11th, we have the inflation data. So Wednesday, and then Thursday we get the PPI. And then Friday we get some consumer sentiment numbers. All right, let's see here.
Reduction, considering how compact Apple Watch already is. Achieving this radically thinner profile required further miniaturization
That's
of
funny,
several
Red.
already tiny internal modules, like the SIP, digital crown,
Have I
and
covered any
speaker.
short squeezes like
The
Neo,
speaker
Oscar?
system was completely re-engineered to be 30% smaller. without
Like
any
actually like
compromise
covered a
to
short
acoustic
position? Like have I
performance.
shorted Neo and I'm
And for
covering
the
it right
first
now?
time on
No.
Apple Watch,
Or are you saying like
you
have I
can
just
play
covered it on the
media
stream?
like music or podcasts directly through the speaker. It's great for when you don't have your AirPods handy.
Thanks, Brosman.
Also contributing to Series 10's thinner design is an innovative metal back
I'm
that
interested to see
fully
what
integrates
the
the
next
antenna
iPhone looks
into the
like, but-
housing itself, combining 2 layers into one. A thin
don't
isolation
care that
split
much.
encircles the metal back for great cellular performance. And is bonded to a watertight layer that
Some of
maintains
us are in the
50-meter water
market for
resistance.
watches.
So you can still
Yeah, I know
shower,
that.
swim,
That's
and
why it's
surf.
like the #1 selling
The
watch.
new metal
Isn't
back
it
also
like the #1 selling
accommodates
watch in the
a
world or
larger
one of the top?
and more efficient charging coil, making Series 10 the fastest charging Apple Watch ever. In just 30 minutes, you can get up to 80% battery, making it easier to charge your watch
I
whenever
had an
it
watch.
fits into your day.
I had an Apple Watch, but
smaller
the only time I
speaker,
used it was on
metal
a
back,
exercise
and other
bike.
innovations
And
make
then I couldn't
Series
figure
10
out how to
not
like
only
use it
thinner,
for songs without
but
my
also
phone next
lighter
to me.
weight.
So then,
Aluminum cases
and I even
weigh
had the
up to
cellular data
10%
on, and it
less
would
than
just
the
die
previous
super quick. So I was
generation.
like, well, what's the point of this? I might as well
And we're
just use Bluetooth in
introducing
my phone and just have a
another
thing for my
lightweight
phone.
material in a gorgeous new finish, polished titanium. This year, grade 5 titanium replaces stainless steel. With titanium's
What about
remarkable
the September dip? Is it
strength-to-weight
done?
ratio,
So that's what we were talking
Series
about
10
here.
weighs
We did reach
almost
into the
20%
lower
less than the
expected
stainless
move
steel
for
Series
September
9.
already.
The case is made of aerospace grade titanium.
You can see we actually undercut it
that's
here,
polished to a
which is
mirror-like
normal.
shine.
And
then
right now you can see that we actually opened up on that level, came up a little bit
Natural,
higher into the daily
gold,
expected
and
move,
a dark slate
and now
gray.
we're just closely
And
above
we've
it. So the
updated
market
the
priced in
elegant
how much
Milanese
risk it
loop and
thought
classic link
we're going to
bracelet
see for the
to
month of
perfectly
September,
match
and that
the
was
titanium
a low
finishes.
level of 544.55, a
uninterrupted
high level of
lines of case,
582.81.
back,
So
and watch
if you're
band
thinking in terms of
celebrate
distribution,
the
it doesn't mean
beauty
that it can't
of
undercut
metal.
it or
To
go
complete
lower.
the metallic look,
But if you're thinking in
the
terms of
reflections
probabilities,
face has
it's the
an
only,
intricate
it
shimmering
was
dial that
it's
reacts
the 9th right
subtly
now,
to
and
your
we're already
movement
undercutting the
and
lower
transitions
monthly expected
gracefully
move.
to always on
So
mode.
we're seeing a
The
bounce. I mean, there was
sleek
some
shape,
aggressive selling.
expansive display,
Now overhead, the
sapphire
levels
front
to
crystal,
pay attention to
and
is going to be the month-to-day
sophisticated
anchored volume
finishes
weighted average
make
price,
Series 10
the declining
the
5-day
most
moving
refined
average,
expression of
and that's
Apple
why we
Watch
kind of drew
yet.
out the potential path
Titanium
of what I would
Series 10
prefer
joins
to
the
see.
lineup
We might not. It might
as
just
our
go gap and
next
go, gap and go.
carbon-neutral product.
Let's take a look at market. Let's take
It's
a look at
made
market
with
net flow. Market net flow is not giving us
recycled
much today.
titanium
It's a little
and
choppy in here.
manufactured with 100% renewable electricity.
Not bearish,
And to
not
reduce
bullish,
emissions for
not much of anything
transportation,
going on there.
We prioritize non-air
As far as
shipping.
0-date levels go for
Of
the
course,
S&P 500,
inside Series 10 is custom Apple silicon, which powers all the incredible capabilities of every Apple Watch.
the level to watch for the upside today would be that 5,500. You can see the market's made a nice little recoup here. So 5,500, and then we're still in negative gamma territory. So what you're seeing here is really, what happens in negative gamma territory. You get strong moves to the downside, strong moves to the upside. Right now we just have an inside trading day, but that is what it looks like now. And then you have 5,500 would be that level, decent sized level from a 0-day perspective, and that's right up in here. So if we can get up here today, maybe even push a little bit higher, tuning around the gamma area, that's what I would be watching for.
Clear and crisp on the other end, even in noisy environments.
I don't think I need
City street or windy day. watchOS 11 brings even more intelligence to Apple Watch. Now, the Smart Stack automatically adds new widgets right when you need them. The new Photos face uses machine learning to identify, score, and curate the best photos from your library. And the Translate app comes to Apple Watch, using machine learning for speech recognition and rapid translation.
My list, and we'll go over some of the names.
Of course, intelligence powers many of the health features on Apple Watch as well. Here's Sumble to tell you more.
I got hit out on so many positions the other day. Sucks. Not really that bad.
With the compact design of Series 10
Took me
plus
off
the
of my all-time
fastest
highs,
charging
that's for
ever,
sure.
it's so easy to wear your Apple Watch day and night, unlocking insightful and intelligent features for your health. Your Apple Watch can remind you to take your medications and alert you to loud environments that could impact your hearing. It can also notify you if your heart shows signs of atrial fibrillation. And we hear stories nearly every day about the impact these irregular rhythm notifications have had in helping users seek and receive critical care. While you're sleeping, Apple Watch can measure wrist temperature to detect when you likely ovulated, identify changes in your daily health status with the new Vitals app, and determine how much time you spend in each sleep stage. And now, Series 10 can also alert you to a major health condition that impacts
I'm gonna
over
pull up
a
some of my
billion
names.
people worldwide.
If you guys want me to pull up individual
Sleep
names, you can let me
apnea.
know. We can look at some of the
It's a potentially
larger
serious
market cap
condition
names. I saw
where
a couple
breathing
of those
stops
mentioned.
repeatedly and causes disrupted sleep. Sleep plays such a vital role in our overall health and well-being, and people with sleep apnea can experience excessive daytime tiredness, have difficulties concentrating, and be more irritable. If left untreated, sleep apnea can also have significant consequences on your health, including increased risk of hypertension,
What the hell are we
type 2
talking about right
diabetes, and cardiac issues. But one of the biggest challenges is that 80% of people with sleep apnea are undiagnosed, so they don't know they have the condition. To detect sleep apnea, Apple Watch uses the accelerometer to monitor a new metric during sleep called breathing disturbances. You can view your nightly values in the Health app, which can also help you understand the restfulness of your sleep. Every 30 days, Apple Watch will analyze your breathing disturbance data and notify you if it shows consistent signs of moderate to severe sleep apnea. As always, your
sounds like one
data
of
is
those
secured in the
commercials
Health app,
for
which
like
will
a
tell you when
medical
sleep
product.
apnea may have occurred, and provide education on the importance of speaking with your healthcare provider, plus
Some
a
of the side
detailed
effects
report
that
to
can
support
occur
that
are
conversation.
mild.
The detection algorithm was developed
what her voice
using
sounds like.
advanced machine learning with an extensive data set of clinical grade sleep apnea tests. It was then
like some guy
validated
dancing
in
in
a
the
clinical
field,
study
super happy.
unprecedented in size for
After-
sleep apnea technology.
I don't know.
We are so excited about the incredible impact this
You know what I
feature
mean
can
if you've seen
make
those
for the
commercials.
millions of people living with undiagnosed sleep apnea. We expect clearance from the FDA and other regulators very soon, with availability in over 150 countries and regions this month, including the US, Europe, and Japan. In addition to Series 10, sleep apnea notifications will also be available on Series 9 and Ultra 2. Like health, fitness is one of the core benefits of Apple Watch. To tell you more about what's new, here's Jules.
Apple Watch helps keep you active. The activity rings motivate millions of people every day to take a walk, hit the gym, or go for a ride. And the redesign of Series 10 makes it even better for workouts. Runners, cyclists, and athletes of all kinds will appreciate the lighter weight.
Well, that was a
and
crazy-
it's easy to read your
that was a
workout
crazy
metrics on
transition.
the bigger display.
That was wild.
This year, Series 10 gets a built-in depth gauge and a water temperature sensor, making it even better for activities in and around the water. The Depth app launches automatically when submerged, allowing you to see depth to 6 meters or about 20 feet, along with water temperature, which is also visible in the Workout app for pool and open water swims. These new capabilities make Series 10 perfect for snorkeling, a popular way to explore the underwater world.
Palantir is making a
This
nice
year,
run
Sea
off the
Watch
news that
Outdoors
it's going to be
is
entering in the
bringing
S&P
their
500,
Oceanic Plus
breaking
app
out of this
to
consolidation.
Series
So this will be
10,
one to
with
watch.
features designed
Look for
specifically
consolidations and follow
snorkeling,
through.
like the ability to track time,
SMCI
depth,
is towards this
direction,
kind of
and other
lower
metrics
range here of this
underwater.
channel, which is a down
For
channel.
activities like surfing,
But maybe,
fishing,
you know,
or
in the
simply
short term, we
playing in
may
the
see a little bit of a
waves, we're
bounce.
introducing
It's a
the Tides
possibility.
app in watchOS
You'd be,
11. It shows
you got to be
7 days
careful
of
with these type of
information, including
positions.
rising, falling, high and low tides, sunrise, and sunset.
TGX
And there's data for
getting a
coastlines
little
all over
wild
the world.
and willy over here, but it's holding up
Kayakers,
rather well.
canoers, and rowers,
ROIV
the
was one that we
Workout
had.
app now shows
That one did
distance,
break out of
speed,
this
and gives
$12
you a route
range.
map. And with the Paddle Logger app,
Pretty
you can
nice
create a
base
float
breakout
plan
over here, so we'll
and
see if it's going to
rely
be
on
like
haptic
this or if
feedback
we're
from
actually
your
going
Apple Watch
to make a
stay on
run for
course.
it. If you look at the weekly time frame, you can go back even
Series 10
further.
is great
This is a
for
big
all
level
of
over
your
here for
fitness
ROIV.
activities.
That's
And
getting
the
over,
addition of
getting
depth,
over and out
water
of.
temperature and the Tides app make it even better for your aquatic
Not interested in
adventures too.
Sweet Greens.
Now, back to
LMB.
Jeff.
That's Apple Watch Series 10.
This is LMB.
It's the thinnest Apple Watch ever, with our largest and most advanced display in a sleek, lightweight, all-metal case that comes in gorgeous new finishes of aluminum and polished titanium. The design of Series 10 is truly a milestone
delete all
of
these.
watchmaking.
I don't care.
It has the powerful S10 SIP
Digga,
and a
digga, digga,
breakthrough
digga,
new
digga,
sleep
digga, digga.
apnea feature. Series 10 is our fastest charging watch yet, with
I'm gonna
all-day
bring up some new
18-hour
names.
battery life. New depth and water temperature sensors make it great for water activities. It includes the intelligent new features of watchOS 11, and it looks fantastic with this year's watch bands, with bold colorways from Nike and refined new styles from Hermes. We can't wait for you to experience how
S&P
great
500 is
Series
just
10
kind of
feels
consolidating up
on
here.
your wrist. Apple Watch Series 10 starts at $399.
Market net flow
You
is
can
starting to
pre-order
diverge a little bit
starting
here.
today,
Bullish
and it will be
divergence, starting to get
available
some
on
convergence here.
September
That's a
20th.
decent sign that we might
Next, let's
try
talk
to make a
about
run up to
Apple
this
Watch
month-to-date
Ultra.
anchored volume weighted average price.
Ultra is the most rugged and capable Apple Watch with all of
Or
the
that 5500
powerful
level
and
here.
intelligent features that help keep you connected, healthy, and safe.
Not necessarily something
And
that I
it's
would want to
also
fade. I would be
the
looking for
ultimate
pullbacks
sports
to
watch.
buy if that's going to
Here's
hold like that
Stan to tell
into
you
and around
more.
those levels. I don't know how long this event is. I was kind of waiting around just to see the iPhone. Wasn't planning even on
Ultra
playing
is
this,
the
but
perfect companion for athletes. It has great battery life to last through an iron
okay.
run, an action button for
I'm gonna pull up
precise
my
workout control, and a depth gauge
tight
for
list and
screw
kind of go over some of these
Plus,
names. I'm
with
just
dual
keeping an eye on
frequency
here.
GPS and advanced positioning software, Ultra delivers the most accurate GPS in a sports watch. Ultra has the metrics, views, and experiences runners need, like custom workouts, heart rate zones, pacing features, and even an industry-first automatic running.
A lot of names that are holding up here.
And the new
Kava's
training
interesting.
mode feature provides helpful insights to make it easier for you to smartly
Kava had a
plan when to
positive
push
earnings move,
and
kind
when
of
to
pulled in, and
recover,
we're seeing some strength here. It's probably going to go
especially
retest
for
these
training
highs,
or
maybe
preparing
break
for
from
a
that,
race.
go to 150.
Ultra is also
It's in a
great
bullish
for
trend, so
cyclists.
Kava has been
In
holding up
addition to
very well here.
distance,
Some
speed,
retailers that have been holding up
elevation,
pretty
and
well
heart rate, cyclists can
on
easily
earnings,
view
right?
their
They had a
workout
big
as
big
live
move up.
activity on iPhone.
A big reversal here, so that's a little sketch, but this is ROST, Ross, TJX. That one's flagging out here after a pretty bullish earnings move. Another name that I'm focused on.
WatchOS 11 brings custom workouts to pool swims. It tracks your
Comp is trying to break out. Comp was one that I had on. Yeah, look at that move. Comp has been a monster. Comp, if you go to comp and you go to the weekly time frame, this is, I think we talked about it over here when it started breaking out, and now it's making a run for big move today. 14%.
WatchOS 11 supports offline
Just pretty
batteries,
nice technical
complete
moves,
with
and then the
custom
moving averages are all
navigation
kind of
and
catching up.
turn-by-turn
Pretty cool there,
routes
pretty
to
clean.
use when your iPhone isn't nearby.
Affirm had a pretty big earnings move, and it's kind of fading in here a little bit. Could be one to watch. I like watching after seeing a big bullish earnings move and seeing how it consolidates and then trying to play it up. Target did the same thing, another retailer. I'm kind of keeping an eye on here. Right, so we had a big, huge gap up. It's coming in back into these moving averages. Put in a nice big tail over here. So if it can hold this kind of range of risk, may play it up to the upside. GD looks strong. GD looks real strong. It's clean. Yeah. General Dynamic. Yeah. If I just pull up, you know, kind of just right here, you can see that it's trying to make a break for today, up 3%. That's a new high, right, on the year. So it's not trying. It did. It's a new high for the year. Breaking out of this base. Here's the weekly time frame.
Was specifically formulated to make the surface extremely scratch resistant and durable.
Strong stocks typically get stronger.
Every Ultra case is made with 95% recycled grade 5 titanium. It's the same material used by the aerospace industry. And there is a beautiful matching
A lot of like
completing this new look are
real estate
bands
names.
with matching black titanium hardware. We're also
Here's a
excited to
random one,
introduce
Duolingo.
a new Ultra band, the titanium Milanese loop. Inspired by
It's trying to make a little bit of a comeback here after, you know,
historically
kind of a
used by
bearish
divers.
move
This new band is
on
made from
earnings.
corrosion
Now we're kind of
resistant
coming back up,
titanium
consolidating
and
back above these
designed for
averages.
speed.
So if this wants to come up, maybe we come
Titanium wire
retest up into these
flattened
areas.
and polished to create
Around
a
250 for
smooth
Duolingo,
surface that wraps
with a
fluidly
risk, you
around
know,
the
kind of
wrist.
tracking just
The
under the
parachute
200
style
day.
buckle has dual side release buttons that close with an
Adobe has
audible
been an
click.
interesting one
And like
too to me.
all Ultra bands,
This one
it's
has
designed
earnings
to
coming
stay
up,
securely on your wrist. It's
but we've been kind of bumping our head
lightweight and
right here at this
elegant enough for any
580-ish.
occasion.
Seeing a series of higher lows, and now price action's getting kind of tight. The thing is, we do have earnings coming, but I will note the 20 is now trending up, the 50 days trending up above the 200, and the 200 is kind of flat to neutral right now.
The new On Mer band is made of a high-density 3D knit with a titanium buckle designed
Zoom
for
Video,
watch
I believe, had a pretty
and the exclusive
decent
Hermes
earnings.
Maritime watch face features high
And then that one saw a
visibility
massive like
and
kind
the
of follow
action
through,
button
and this
launches
one's
a
kind of pulling back in.
single-inspired
And we're
countdown.
talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days of a consolidation, kind of a, just a
Now
clean,
back to
just
Jeff.
honestly a really clean pullback.
Apple Watch Ultra
I mean,
2
that's
is our most
pretty darn
rugged
clean of a
and capable
pullback.
Apple
Volume's
Watch
drying up, price
with a
action's coming in
durable
nice and
titanium
slowly.
case
So to
and
see this
sapphire
trade back
focus.
up into around this
Now,
range,
in
these
a
are the type of
stunning
trades that
black
I
with a
like. So
matching
Zoom
look
Video
and
would probably be up on
feel
that
that
list.
includes the intelligent features of WatchOS 11.
You know,
Ultra is the ultimate sports and adventure
even if it
watch.
comes down, I'd still be watching it a
Powerful
little bit more,
capabilities
and then wait
for
for like one of the
runners,
highs to be taken
cyclists,
out,
swimmers,
and then I can have
hikers,
that as
and
like kind of the
athletes of
stop
all
or the look
types.
of it. But yeah,
Apple
that looks
Watch
pretty
Ultra
good.
2 starts at $799.
You're playing into strength, right? You see the strength, it follows through, then you get the consolidation. Now you look for the strength to follow up.
Apple Watch Ultra 2 joins the completely redesigned Apple Watch Series 10 and the popular Apple Watch SE. We couldn't be
KO.
more excited about the
Coca-Cola.
Apple Watch lineup for 2024.
Yeah, Coca-Cola's
and the
been a
continued
pretty
impact
big
it will
monster.
have
Same with, I think,
on
Procter &
users'
Gamble
lives.
has been a big monster
this
too,
year,
breaking out.
Any Apple Watch
Some of those
in
consumer
any
staples
finish
did
can
really
be
well.
carbon neutral, giving you even more
UNH.
choice with a lower carbon impact. It's
Yeah,
one
these
more step
healthcare
towards
names are getting a
Apple
little
2030.
wild.
Our
These
commitment to
length
be
of these
carbon
candles are getting a little
neutral
crazy, but
across our
overall it's,
entire
a couple of
footprint.
days separated from its high.
Back to Tim.
Still holding up well. I like Thermo
These are the
Fisher?
most beautiful and
Thermo
capable
Fish-
watches
Thermo
we've ever created.
Fisher?
Now let's talk about
But we're kind of just building up higher lows into
AirPods
this
forever changed
kind of
what we
compression pattern
imagined
here.
great headphones could be.
You can see on the weekly time frame it hasn't really gone anywhere, but it's holding up rather well right here too.
AirPods provide an incredible audio experience and are
So-
magically easy to use. This year, we have significant updates across the entire lineup. So let's start off with the new generation of AirPods.
New AirPods.
I got places to be. Hello, I got places to be.
Introducing AirPods 4. Here's Kate to tell you
AirPods
more.
4. Our most unique, smallest, lightest weight, loudest design yet.
AirPods 4 build on the original industry-defining design, loved by millions of people, to set an entirely new bar
I
for
lost
fit
mine.
and comfort. The geometry of our ears is unique to
I
each
still like
one of
H&R Block. Oops.
naturally fits people around the world is a significant challenge.
So I'm just going over some more names that I like. H&R Block.
3D photogrammetry,
We're just kind of consolidating here. It's after a big earnings move. Haven't seen follow through yet, but still one that I'm kind of tracking.
analyze thousands of ear shapes,
Race, which is Ferrari.
individual data points.
This one had a massive breakout, and now we're kind of pulling back in a little bit here to the 20-period moving average. So see how this kind of consolidates here. But you saw massive strength, massive breakout, and boom, we're kind of coming in now, which is a healthy sign to see a pullback. But to see what comes after that now, be pretty important to watch.
With a massive improvement in audio quality, thanks to a new acoustic architecture.
Cube was one that I traded already, and this one came into its kind of area. But I will say
In this open
that, so we had a nice consolidation breakout. We tagged the target area, but it's still consolidated here and it's making another move. This is a new high on the year, so this still might have some room
media experience.
to move.
AirPods are also perfect for taking calls hands-free, and machine learning makes this experience even better. When interacting with Siri, you can simply nod your head yes or shake your head no. in response
Cause
to Siri announcements. And for clearer call quality for whomever you're speaking to, voice isolation instantly removes the background noise around you, no matter your environment. Call from Francis Lee. Answer it.
Hey, just give me a minute. Yeah, the girls are
let me see here.
I hear you perfectly.
TTE.
You're not hearing that?
I'm not too familiar with this name,
Oh, yeah.
but
With a
I don't really see a setup here right now.
sensor,
It's kind of just,
you have even more control to
we're just
play or
seeing
pause
lower
music
highs,
and to mute or end calls.
lower lows here.
To make these AirPods
It's kind of
even
just
more
doing its
convenient to
little
charge and
dance
carry
right now.
with
It
you
doesn't really have a
everywhere
trend.
you go,
And if it doesn't really have a
the
trend, it's a little bit hard to
Face
kind of
ID
gauge where it
and
can
we've
go.
made it the smallest, most portable
Thanks,
case
TWM.
ever for AirPods, while
ORCL.
delivering up to 30
That's,
hours
what is
of
Oracle?
total battery life.
Would I short it?
Now, for
Would you
those who
short
are looking
Oracle
for
ER?
even more
Oh,
advanced
earnings.
performance in this style of
No, I
AirPods,
mean I won't
create
initiate a
a
position
second
into
product
earnings.
inspired by some of the most
So
impactful
if I
features
do,
of
it'd be like
AirPods
one or two
Pro.
shares,
We're excited to bring active
just to have a little bit on there. But yeah, I don't really take a huge position or anything like that going into earnings. I'll go into the trade tab and I'll look at the risk. When is earnings? So the earnings expected move is $10.60 basically. Was it after bell? After the bell?
Like airplane engines and city traffic.
Yeah.
So you can
So
have
basically, you're looking at basically a risk of around,
without sacrificing sound quality.
you
We're
know,
also adding
price coming up to around 152, 153.
which provides the most natural way to hear the environment
And
around
potentially down here, $10.
Exactly.
So I mean, if you know how to like price in like how to short it,
listening modes to these
a certain
AirPods.
spread or, you know, an option strategy, or if you're just taking a little bit of risk, then yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But just know that that would be the ideal risk for the trading session today on Oracle after the bell. It can be down here at 133-ish, 132. This is if it's one standard deviation. It can go more than that. But then to the upside, right, it's up to 152. So if you're okay with losing $10 plus a share potentially on the position, then yeah, I mean, it's fine. I mean, I went long NVIDIA into earnings to prove a point, right? And I just didn't tell people, like I said, yeah, I'm bullish, but let me just prove a point to you. I'll go long. I showed my long position, and it didn't do anything to my portfolio, even though I was wrong on it, because I didn't take a position, because it all comes down to position sizing. It doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. It matters if you're right or wrong if you're like taking, you know, too big of a position. But if you know your risk, you know, you don't need to worry about that kind of stuff.
Open-ear AirPods we've ever built, with game-changing audio
It's FFIV.
powered by advanced machine learning.
This
that
one's
enables
also
personalized spatial audio
kind of just
and
coming up into this
active
area
noise
here.
cancellation, with voice isolation, Siri interactions, and
What's up, Loves That
so
Match?
much more. We've also removed the
Bitcoin's seeing some strength today. Yeah.
100% fiber-based materials and reduce the packaging by more than
This is Bitcoin
30%
futures.
to help decrease our
Yeah, so it's
emissions
just,
from
I mean,
and move closer to
look,
our
we're
commitment
bouncing after
to
selling off
remain
hard.
carbon neutral by
This is like, we bounced after selling off hard here,
Generation AirPods
and everyone was super excited. Then it faded.
$29.
Oh, and then, oh, it bounced up super high. Oh, and then it faded. So we're bouncing again.
$79.
This is what, I mean, this is exactly what we're doing in the S&P 500 and the Qs,
On September 20th.
right? SPY doesn't look all too
With an
bad, but Qs,
exceptionally crafted
you know, this one
over-the-ear
came off
design,
from this
is
high
AirPods Max, which people
down
around
here
the
to this
world
low. It's about
absolutely
7.62%.
love. Featuring
So yeah, we're gonna see bounces.
an amazing
What I want
noise
to see
cancellation,
to feel
AirPods
more
Max
confident,
offer the ultimate personal listening experience.
is to get back above an inclining 5-day moving average. And then also, I would prefer to see it above this month-to-day anchored volume weighted average price now, because you can see it's been holding as that level of resistance. So, okay, so let's go back to what I was saying earlier on the stream. So if you just came on, you didn't see it. Do you see these candles, right? How we talked about how the authoritativeness kind of the move was dying off, because you can see the range of the candles are becoming less and less authoritative, meaning the size of them, which means that we're going to probably consolidate and or, you know, pull back. The move is kind of slowing down. And you can see that just by looking at the candles. I mean, think about it, right? Just think about how to read a candle like stick chart, I mean, right? If it's,
Single best-selling headphone in the world.
Give me a second.
AirPods Pro. This design with ear tips
I should just film a
provides
course,
an
dude.
incredible audio experience.
I should
that
just film
includes
this course.
Pro-level active noise cancellation, a crystal clear transparency mode, and the longest battery life. And now we're adding profound new benefits that can expand the role AirPods play in our lives. Here's Sumbul to tell you more.
At Apple, we believe that technology can help you live a healthier life.
All right.
And we're excited to enable incredible new health capabilities for people around the world.
This is exactly what was happening. So upward momentum is slowing, greed is not extreme. And the thing is, so you can see authoritative candles, the body gets smaller, you have expansion moving towards contraction,
Hearing loss can
right? Or, you know, on the flip side, you can see contraction leading to expansion to the downside. Or you can see smaller candles breaking out and you see, you know, greed increasing, right? Authoritativeness, because this is just emotions, right?
hearing loss.
That's one of the, you know, basic principles of technical analysis.
Affect your short and long-term health, including increased
I don't know
risk of
where it's
chronic
at, but
decline,
yeah, there we go. Price action equals emotion.
and social isolation, which
And if you
can
understand that,
depression.
right, what we're seeing here was we saw, you know, a big move,
Longevity as well.
authoritativeness, and then all of a sudden the candles get smaller and smaller, right? So the greed, the authoritativeness of this move is dying, slowing down, meaning that we're probably, you know, finding some sort of a topping point or contraction, or pause, taking a breath before we potentially make a run. And now we're just pulling back. Where are we pulling back to? This is what you want to see. This is healthy. Now, it's not healthy if you saw this and you're like, now I'm going to go long, right? Because you always want to ask, where did price come from? So if you just waited till here to go long, that's kind of crazy, right?
We're introducing three major
You got to see if you're trading intraday. I mean, if you're honestly, if you traded this like right from here and you're like, hey, I'm going to hold it for, because I think we're going a lot higher into the week or the month or whatever. Okay, that's a little bit different story. I'm talking more intraday here. But where do we come down to? Well, maybe take a look at the lower daily expected move, or maybe the week-to-date anchor volume weighted average price if it were to come down here. It doesn't have to, but this could just be, you know, price action digesting the run, taking a little bit of a breather,
to that next event.
and that's it. It could be something more, but right now,
The more you're exposed,
in the short term,
can impact your hearing.
We see the higher low. We're still in a declining trend. We still see a series of lower highs. Right. See market net flow. Market net flow, still not giving us really anything, honestly. It's a bullish divergence, some convergence, but it's not like the cleanest read over here. So, I mean, if anything, it'd be leaning more bullish to an extent, but nah, it's not a good edge right there. All right, let's see, checking on the Apple event.
Next, let's talk about awareness. Because hearing loss often worsens gradually, it can be really hard
Good there.
to detect.
I'm gonna take this off the screen.
And even with tests that are available, 80% of adults in the U.S. have not
I have
had
your
their
I want
hearing
to be
checked in
smart.
the last 5 years. To give you insight into
funny.
your hearing health, we're introducing
Yeah, give me a bit. I just keeping it on a little bit because I wanted to see when the iPhone came in.
AirPods Pro and iPhone.
I didn't even come in to really do this to do that event. But okay, we went over some of the names. Like I said, I wanted to keep today's stream pretty quickly. I just wanted to take a quick look at the markets, give some insight. I may do a market brief at the end of the day. And we can take a look at the Qs too. Yeah, here's the Qs. Wait. Qs still below a declining 5-day moving average, right? Where we sold off hard and now we're seeing a little bit of a bounce. I think we're likely to test the 5-day moving average here at some point, but what I would prefer to see is this to start flattening out, price to get back above it, and then more importantly, I want to see the structure of the market change too and get back into that positive gamma territory over here. All right, positive gamma territory. The flip line right now is at 55.15. That's going to update every day and then go from there. So right now we're seeing just that little bit of a pullback as momentum was slowing. Nothing really is warning us anything bad here. Looking at market net flow, it's still a bullish divergence. Has a little bit of convergence, meaning SPY is just kind of consolidating here. So, you know, it's not a bad sign. It just needs a little bit more time to give you know, more. It has to prove itself now, right? Now since we're seeing a little bit of strength this inside trading day, it's, you know, contracting. It's just a sideways digestion after a big sell-off, and now market needs to prove itself. I would imagine that we can go up higher, right? September already is pretty strong sell-off. We already hit the lower monthly expected move pretty quickly in. So to see it eventually come and, you know, try to reclaim the 5-day and come back up and test this anchor volume weighted average price, that would make sense. And if you just go back out, I mean, this was the level that we were watching the entire time was, right? We talked about how there was getting some signals and risk was slowing and to look for a shakeout of 2024. All right, well, the shakeout kind of happened right now, or just the prior day, and it kind of came in to this level that we were watching, and now we're holding above it. So if you do go along here and you think that, you know, okay, I'm going to take a position, but it's still, you know, we still have the declining 5-day moving averages basically across the board. Here's just another way to think about it. You have all these declining moving averages across the board, but if you want to take a shot, okay, so where would your stop be? Well, it'll probably be the low of this trading session, right? Or the low of the prior trading session. So that's how I would approach it, right? So if you're like, okay, I'm going to just go long because I think we're going to come back up to these highs and retest up here at minimum over here. So you're trying to play it from 547 back up to like 555. Okay, cool, do it. But then just make sure your risk, you know what your risk is. So if you took the position right from here, you know, and your stop was right there, this would be your risk. Let me zoom in. All right, that would be the risk. Clone it. And then your potential reward, say if you wanted to come up all the way over here, right, properties. Let me make this red. There you go. See, so if I look at this, I'm like, wow, okay, actually, and you might go more, who knows? But when I look at this, I'm like, okay, well, this would be your risk unit. And then you're literally, it'd be, you know, it'd be a 2-for-1 risk. You know, you'd be risking 1 unit to get 2. And even though that's not the greatest looking setup and it's still below a declining 5-day moving average, at least you're like looking at this from a terms of like, hey, the reward is bigger than what I'd be willing to risk, right? And that to me makes sense. Now, if you start to expand it back down to here more, now it's like, okay, well, this is now like a 1-for-1, right? Because if I were to clone this out and I go like this, okay, yeah, maybe potentially a little bit more reward, but as price moves up, right, this is still going to trend down a little bit here. So you got to keep that in mind too. Now the risk to reward is like a 1-for-1. It's like a coin flip. And a coin flip is happening in a declining trend. So you have the trend against you, and now you're taking a coin flip. So the ideals don't really work too well in that favor, but it can still be a winning trade. It's just over the course of time, if you keep doing this continuously, what you'll notice is fighting the trend typically is a little bit harder. Another way to approach this is just wait it out, and you don't enter, and you wait for the 5-day moving average to be on your side, and you go back into positive gamma territory, and then you're like, okay, now I think that we can not only test this, but potentially break it, and then you keep on updating your risk as it reclaims these levels, and your risk gets smaller and smaller versus the reward. Just playing with the trend is it's always the easier thing to do. But that's all I really have for you guys on today's quick live stream. I wanted to just do, because I haven't been on here for a while, we went over quite a few names. But just wanted to come out here really quick. So I hope it helped out, mapped out some of these key levels. Just know it's just an inside trading day. We're still below these declining averages. It's going to take time. Don't FOMO. Just be patient. Let it work itself out. We just made a pretty strong move. Let it digest, and then kind of go from there. And keep an eye on market net flow. Market net flow might change significantly throughout the day, which offers up a potential squeeze play or something like that. But like I said, we mapped out some of the risk to reward here, what it may look like. And I'd keep an eye on that. Another way, actually, I'm gonna just now kind of on this roll. So if I actually anchor volume weighted average price to the low of today, this could be an area of risk too. So if we're pulling back into these levels, okay. So we're pulling back into them right now. Let's see how it plays out. Okay, I'll stick on. Let's see how it plays out. If it can come down into this area. Let me check the Apple event. Oh, here comes the Apple event. The iPhones.
iPhone 16 is built to last. With
Those aren't the main ones though.
Durability. It is water and dust resistant and has our new most
okay, so
glass ceramic formulation.
Watch this. Watch how price responds in and around these areas, right? So we're coming down to test it now.
50% tougher than the first generation ceramic.
So let's go into a smaller time frame. Let's go to 1 minute.
In any other smartphone. The display on
I'm gonna hide these
16
drawings.
provides an exceptional viewing experience.
And I'm gonna hide the
all
5-day moving average.
Up to
Okay, there you go.
2,000 nits when you're in a sunny
So here's the
environment,
daily volume
and
weighted
down to
average
1
price,
minute
and then
in the
here's the
dark.
swing low for the day.
And it comes in 2 sizes.
This is a pretty aggressive. That's a pretty aggressive couple minute candles here. But you can see we kind of came in right there and tagged it, and you can see price is holding up above it right now. So we'll see if it doodles around or if it snaps underneath it and then maybe makes a U-turn, and you could potentially play a trade.
You can record a voice memo,
Okay.
identify a
I don't like to just buy right here. I have, but if I do, what would happen is it'd have to be a smaller position because I'd be buying into weakness, and I'd prefer to see how price works itself around these areas. Okay, so let's see how it responds. Maybe it comes down to the daily and go from there.
iPhone 16 introduces
zoom in
the
here.
all-new
Okay.
innovative
Let's
camera
watch.
control. The camera control provides instant, easy access to the camera with just a
Do I
click.
think the Fed
It
will
allows
drop
you to
only a
adjust various
1/4%?
camera features simply by sliding your finger.
I'll tell you.
Its
I don't really
convenient
have a
design
thought process
ensures
on
it's
that
always
too
within
much.
reach.
I feel like it would be probably
And with
25
iPhone
basis points, but let's see what the
16,
market's
camera
pricing in.
becomes even more important, now serving as a powerful
Yeah, it looks
tool
like it'd be a
for
25
intelligence.
basis point hike is where the market's
camera
really
control
kind of
offers instant access to a set of visual intelligence features.
yeah, there's like a
iPhone
73%
16's beautiful
probability is
design
going to be
is
25
joined by
basis points.
powerful
It's a pretty high
performance
probability.
inside.
So we got to watch
Every
this
experience
inflation
on
data and
iPhone
stuff.
is
When
powered by Apple
excuse me.
Silicon.
Excuse me.
Industry-leading processing power
when
and
is the Fed talk?
efficiency. Apple Silicon is at the heart of new
Next week.
capabilities, starting with Apple Intelligence. Here's Shri to tell you all about it.
Yeah, next week. Yeah, so inflation data. Let's see if inflation comes out, how that comes out, and see if the market kind of reprices that.
Needs a chip with substantial high-performance compute. It needs memory to store large models.
All right, let's just watch to see kind of how price doodles and dangles.
Phenomenal energy efficiency. So we're bringing our latest.
It came back
breakthroughs
into the
and
lower
jumping
daily expected
2
move right here.
generations ahead, from A16 Bionic in iPhone 15 to A18, our brand new chip created specifically for iPhone 16. A18 features an upgraded 16-core neural engine that is optimized for running large generative models. This neural engine is up to 2 times
Now we're just
faster
trading just
than
roughly
machine
just
learning.
at that swing low anchor
And
volume
it's not
weighted
just
average
a
price.
neural engine. We've also upgraded A18's memory subsystem, including 17% more system memory bandwidth. This is critical to give the chip the fastest, most efficient access to our generative models, as well as drive the performance of Apple Intelligence. A18 is built using second generation 3nm technology. This 3nm technology has even smaller transistors that are
Yeah, I think this kind of reaction was probably when they started talking about the iPhone. So if I pull up Apple, and these overreactions can lead to nice just bounce backs.
These are critical as they're used in nearly every experience on iPhone,
But
including
let's see.
Apple Intelligence. It is up to 30%
It was probably that, right? It was probably the quick little reaction. That's a 5-minute candle. Let me go to 1 minute.
iPhone 12. And thanks to our design,
Yeah, it's kind of
the
a
latest transistors, the
probably a
CPU
response
is
to the
more
iPhone,
energy
but you can
efficient
see here
than
we're
A16
reclaiming
Bionic.
that swing low anchor
We can
volume weighted
deliver
average price,
the
made a
same
little bit of a U-turn here.
using 30% less power. This CPU is faster than all the competition.
Now, if I anchor a volume weighted average price to the high of the day,
desktop PCs.
you can see
A18
here is
also
where it kind of
features our
reacted.
latest desktop class GPU
So let's do a little quick handoff here.
This new 5-core GPU plays a huge role.
And then
in
watch how
everything
price
from
responds
Apple
to
Intelligence
and around that
camera
level.
features and graphics intense games. It
So
is
you'd
up
want to
to
see it hold
40%
above here.
faster than the GPU in iPhone 15.
And if you could hold above
and
here,
up
that
to
can open the
2
door
times
right back
faster
up.
than the GPU in iPhone 12.
So we'll see.
The GPU
Kinda liked it
is
up here at
also
the
more
high, though.
efficient than A16, delivering the same performance using 35% less power. A18 is in a class of its own, built with our latest silicon innovations to power experiences like Apple Intelligence on iPhone 16. Over to Craig to tell you more about Apple Intelligence.
Apple Intelligence. Here we go. By the way, you can do this on larger time frames too.
Your iPhone is the most personal product in your life. It's part of so many things that make you, you. Like your relationships and messages, your photos and memories, your calendar, notes, and more. Now, we're bringing together that personal context with the power of generative models to deliver intelligence that understands you. And we're doing it in a way that protects your privacy. Apple Intelligence is the personal intelligence system at the heart of the iPhone 16 lineup, with the ability to understand and create language, as well as images, and take action on your behalf to simplify daily tasks. And each of these powerful capabilities
So that was just a quick little example there, but you can see that we pulled into that area.
This is only possible thanks to our unique integration of hardware.
Pulled into that little area. You can see these levels can be used, right? Swing high, swing lows. And then you can see how it responded after here. And then we're kind of seeing a bounce back probably up into this area, maybe higher, who knows. So that's kind of just a little tip, but you can do this not only on the minute time frames, you can go on the larger time frames, right? Minute by minute is very difficult to trade. I personally like to look at the larger time frames. I like swing trading, but let me remove these off my chart. I don't need these. Just to give you an idea of some levels of risk or how to kind of come up with them, right? Because if you're like saying, okay, I'm going to have a stop down here, maybe you might be looking at the anchored volume weighted average price and be like, okay, well, if we close underneath this, or, you know, if we take it out for a couple of candles, maybe I'll exit out some of my position, but I'll have some remaining here. And if we reclaim it, I can always add back in if it sets back up or so forth. All right, everybody, I'm going to hop off. That's all I wanted to do on today's quick live stream. Hope it helped out. I'll see you all later. Thanks for tuning in. See you, Moonraker. See you, Juan. See you, FT. See you, Joylyn. See you, Love Set Match, Kyle. Jim, Mike, Ken, Randy, Caffeine, Edward, Andrew, Eco. What's that, man? Just saw you post there. See ya. Cosmo. Later, Reed, Edward, TWM, Rolando, David. See you guys. Gals, everybody. Bye.